Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I hope I can remember what I'm doing. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We want to talk about some Katies today. I hope you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Of course, we want to talk about the biggest Katie of all, Katie Joy, but we'll get to her. But we want to look at a court case that happened today involving well, actually, the judgment came down today involving Katy Perry, an Australian Katy Perry and the American Katy Perry. It's a very interesting case. So they're the two Katies that have been in court. As I said, we want to also talk about Katie Joy. She has done a few. She seems to be making her appearance on YouTube at the moment. On Instagram at the moment. Very interesting. And yeah, I thought I would try this live stream again. It's been a while, and I've thought, well, I really need to try and do something. I should actually be doing my constitutional law assignment, but hey, I've got till 11:59 tomorrow night, so it will be done between 7 o'clock and 11:59 tomorrow. Nothing like leaving it for the last minute, hey? But you guys are really worth it. So, oh, and I also want to look at a property case that happened where a couple purchased a home for $1.2 million and they found out, the court has ruled that the house was sold to them illegally and they've just lost the house. And so I wanted to see what you thought about that because I find it very baffling. So we've got a few things to talk about today. I also want to talk about some conjoined twins where one has a boyfriend and one hasn't, and they don't share the boyfriend. Yeah, it's very interesting. So let's start off with the two Katies. Okay, okay. So we'll start off with the two Katies. And this is a case where the smaller Katie actually won against the big Katie. Katy Perry, the singer, lost her lawsuit today against Katy Perry, the Australian fashion designer. Now, it's very interesting. What happens if you have the same name? One's okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. All I tried to do was share my screen and it kicked me out. So I don't know what it's doing. So okay, so here we go. We've got the story of, it's like the tale of two cities, but instead it's the the tale of the two Katies. And we'll get to the third one shortly. So US pop star Katy Perry lost her federal court case battle against Sydney designer Katie Jane Taylor. So US pop sensation Katy Perry has lost the long-running legal battle after her company was found to infringe the trademark of a Sydney-based designer. Sydney woman Katie Jane Taylor, a self-described Aussie battler, sued the I Kiss a Girl singer in the federal court over the sale of clothes. including t-shirts and pajamas, in Australia, claiming a copyright infringement. Miss Taylor, a mother of two, has operated a clothing label under her birth name, Katy Perry, since 2006 and held the trademark for over a decade. However, the Sydney designers sued the singer, whose real name is Catherine Elizabeth Hudson, claiming she infringed her trademark by using one that was substantially identical or deceptively similar. Miss Taylor claimed the singer using her trademark in Australia since at least 2013, selling products not only at her concerts but also shops such as Myer and Target. During the trial, the court was told Miss Taylor had been designing clothes in Australia for 15 years. Hello, Bella Marie. I'm doing all right. How are you? It's interesting. It should be clothes, but it says closed. A feat which barrister Christian Dimitri's Artist SC said wasn't easy. So this is Australian designer Katie Jane Taylor, nee Perry, and she sued Katy Perry. So when she first started designing clothes, she actually trademarked. Oh, thank you, Bella Marie. That was very kind of you to gift a membership. So thank you for that. That was lovely. So yeah, thank you for gifting those memberships. So he told the court the designer began her business in 2006, well before she knew who the singer was, and before she first heard Perry's songs on the radio in 2008. The court heard Miss Taylor had received heavy-handed threats of litigation in 2009 in the form of cease and desist letters. Miss Taylor first began designing clothes in November 2007 when they were launched at a school charity event and sold them at the Sydney markets in May 2008. She'd already registered her business and domain name Katy Perry in 2007. In 2009, Miss Taylor went public with the legal battle in the form of a video message to the superstar on YouTube that prompted an email from Perry's manager, Steve Jensen, saying the situation was blown out of proportion. Justice Bridget Markovic released her judgment following the lengthy trademark dispute Thursday, saying it was a tale of two women, two teenage dreams, and one name. The federal court justice ruled Miss Taylor had partially won her claims and dismissed a counterclaim by Perry and her company, Killer Queen LLC. Trademark infringements were found to have incurred by Perry herself in social media, promoting her prismatic tour in 2013 and 2014. But the judge found the singer did not owe compensation to the Sydney designer as the trademark was used in good faith. Further infringements were found to have occurred during the singer's 2014 and 2015 prismatic tour of Australia at pop-up merchandise stores in Sydney and Melbourne. Justice Markovic also found the trademark infringed on the website for merch company Bravado. Kitty Perry, a company owned by Perry, is liable for the particular infringements. Miss Taylor claimed infringements occurred 8 times after 2013 through clothes sold at Myer, Target and Cotton On, but Justice Markovic found these claims failed. Justice Markovic also rejected claims that Miss Taylor's trademark infringement through clothes sold on Amazon and eBay ahead of Perry's witness tour in 2018. Miss Taylor took to her Facebook following this decision, saying she won the biggest battle in her career, describing it as a David and Goliath case. I resisted an attack on me and my trademark. We established infringement and cross-claim was dismissed. You may remember that in 2009 there was an attempt to shut me down by the US singer. It failed and the opposition to my trademark was withdrawn. Miss Taylor said Perry then continued to disregard her trademark and was surprised when she received the cease and desist letter. She described herself as a true Aussie battler, working hard to establish her brand and withstanding a brutal cross-examination during the hearing in 2021. A true case of David versus Goliath. I felt bullied, insulted, and surprised, she wrote. Ms. Taylor said, while not only dealing with legal proceedings, she also had been brutally bullied over the publicity of the case. I had to bear hearing disparaging comments be made about me as I sat in court with tears in my eyes. I have been told I am naive and an opportunist, but they are simply traits of entrepreneurs trying to get a startup business off the ground. Justice Markovic will determine the price of damages owed by Kitty Perry at a later date. So, as I said, it would seem that the trademark for Katy Perry in Australia is actually owned by this woman here. So when Katy Perry tours, Katy Perry the singer, tours Australia again, it's going to be very interesting what she does, knowing that it has been determined that she has infringed the copyright. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it is amazing, though, that she had a win, because usually they don't go like that. Oh, Bella Marie has been a member for 6 months. Wow, that's good. I know that there's a few that have been members with me since the beginning, and that's really quite exciting. I'm going to leave our other Katie till last. So for those of you that are on the replay crew, you'll want to probably keep skipping the video. I want to talk about, we're going to go a little bit adult only at the moment. Lately, all the videos I put up have gone orange anyway, so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, it's a cool headset. I can't remember where I got it from, but it actually lights up. Bella, I don't know. I don't think you can see it, but it actually lights up as well, so it's pretty good. But conjoined twins are opening up about doing the deed. They've opened up about their fused life together, with one revealing she has a boyfriend and she doesn't share it with her sister. So, and I haven't read this article. I haven't looked at this article. So this is reported on news.com.au from their lifestyle section. This could go anywhere. So a set of conjoined twins have opened up about what it's like living fused together and the common misconceptions about their dating life. Lupia and Carmen Andrea, 22, were born in Mexico, but grew up in Connecticut, US, and share a pelvis, a reproductive system, a liver, and bloodstream. The New York Post reports they each have one leg. Carmen controls the right leg. It's not all about rainbows and sunshine. We've had a lot of challenges, but we have a great life. We go to the movies and concerts sharing one seat, and we travel on planes. Hang on a minute. So they share a reproductive system. They share a pelvis, a reproductive system, liver, bloodstream. One controls one leg, one controls the other leg, one controls one arm, one controls the other arm. But they don't share a boyfriend. Okay, this is interesting. All right. They explained that they've never tried to have surgery that would separate them, as it could be fatal for one or both of them. When they were little, they had physiotherapy to learn how to sit up and work their legs. They took their first steps when they were 4 years old. But when it comes to dating, they have a bit of a different outlook. Carmen has a boyfriend named Daniel, while Lupia is asexual. I never tried to hide the fact I'm a conjoined twin, which meant I got a lot of messages from guys with fetishes. So this is obviously her boyfriend here. Carmen met her boyfriend on the dating app Hinge in October 2020, and she said that he set himself apart by not asking her a question about being a conjoined twin to start off their conversation. Even though she and Daniel are dating, Carmen said they are not sexually intimate with each other. During the interview with Jubilee, she described their bond as more of a close friendship. The two have talked about getting engaged in the future, but they want to live together first. Daniel and I love kids, but we don't want any of our own, she said. I like being a dog mum, Lupia, and I can't get pregnant. We have endometriosis, and we're also on a hormone blocker that prevents us from menstruating. I would imagine I just couldn't comprehend that. What would happen if they had different guys, different boyfriends, and would they have to get a bigger bed? I don't know. Although Lupia isn't dating Daniel, she says the two get on really well. It's funny because I stay up later than Lupia, but when Daniel sleeps over, I fall asleep quickly. He stays up talking to her, Carmen told Today. Sometimes I feel bad because I don't spend so much time with Daniel. We try to come up with compromises, like Lupia will choose where we go out for dinner or activity we're going to do. But while they may differ in dating, they are very similar in a lot of other areas, like their career aspirations. They both want to work in the veterinary industry, and Lupia has hopes of becoming a comedy writer as well. Carmen explained that she and Lupia have the same taste in clothing, and that one of their neighbours has even been sewing their outfits together since they were 5. However, the twins make an effort to have their own unique looks. For example, Carmen has a septum piercing in her nose. The two can feel each other's feelings literally. I can feel when Carmen is anxious or about to cry. It's that same stomach drop. Carmen said Lupia happens to be way more observant than her, like when they went to a store recently and she caught a man filming them, even though he claimed he was really filming his daughter. When we were nearly 6, we had a nightmare that we were going to fall off a plane and we literally fell off our beds. That only happened once, but we can feel the other person's emotion. That happens all the time. Carmen and Lupia admitted they don't get sick of each other. At the end of the long day, they usually do their own things. For example, Carmen will do some schoolwork while Lupia will listen to music. Despite their unconventional life, the two are happy. They recall having a very joyful childhood and the same group of friends since they were young. They've also shared their journey as conjoined twins on their TikTok account. They do get their fair share of nasty comments, Carmen said, but also noted it's important for people to keep in mind that they're humans with feelings too. We're being conjoined with it for our own life, so it's not like we miss our independence. So isn't that fascinating? I just find that really fascinating. I was very interested in how that works. But yeah, wow. I'm glad that they get on with I'm glad that they all get on well. So, before we get talking about the other Katie, the Katie Joy, there's one more story I want to bring to you tonight, one that I was just reading. So, what happens when, so you go to an auction and you go and you buy a house, you sign the paperwork, you get the loan, your house settles, you move in, and then you find out there's a problem. 5 years this couple has lived in the house and they've just gone to court. They've just been told by the court that they never legally owned their home and they have to move out. It's a really bizarre thing. So let's have a look at this story. This is, as I said, this is bizarre. So they purchased the house at an auction. So it's a home buyer's worst nightmare, purchasing your dream home and moving in only to find out years later it was never yours. That's the situation Queensland couple Jess and Jackie Moorcroft has found themselves in. I might also say, so I don't know much about the property law requirements in Queensland. I can only talk about the Victorian property law in comparison because I am studying property law. That's the situation Queensland couple, we bought the house, we moved in, and then we got sued. It's been a slow moving nightmare. They are now packing up to leave the Gold Coast property they bought at auction 5 years ago, after the Queensland Supreme Court ruled it still belonged to the previous owner, 83-year-old Hein Issa. The couple moved to Mermaid Beach from Victoria because one of their children suffers from a lung condition. They'd hoped the condition would improve. Away from the Melbourne winter and closer to salt air. That in March 2018, they purchased the house in Francis Street at a mortgagee auction for $1.256 million. So a mortgagee auction. This is where it gets very easy. This is where it gets very interesting. So let me just tell you. So a mortgagee auction is where the lender is essentially the mortgagee. So it's where the lender is actually selling the house to pay off or reduce debt. So that's what the mortgagee is. So a mortgagee is a lender. A mortgagee in possession is a lender who has exercised its right to take control of a property due to non-payment of a mortgage. The mortgagee owns the home. It can sell it or take any other action they wish to recoup the money. So something's happened and the lender has decided to sell the house, okay? So it was a mortgagee auction for $1.265 million. It's now worth more than $2.7 million according to the court documents. So what the Moorcrofts didn't know when they bought the house was that Miss Issa had alleged the house had been unlawfully mortgaged as a security for a loan by a relative who later defaulted. So her argument was a relative used her property as security for a loan. They defaulted, and the lender rightly sold the security. Okay, that's how we've got to this point. Okay, Miss Issa had placed a caveat over the property in an attempt to stop the sale because she could not afford to apply for an injunction at that point. But after negotiations with the mortgagees who sold the property, she agreed to remove it in exchange for $40,000 prior to settlement. The Moorcrofts paid for the property and it settled on June 1, 2018. Soon after, they were unable to transfer the home into their names because of the Register of Titles had placed a second caveat over the property after Miss Issa had contacted them. According to court documents, the registrar's caveat was put in place after Miss Issa wrote to the Queensland Titles Office saying that her home had been fraudulently mortgaged by criminals. She told the registrar she'd made a police complaint, but made no mention of the agreement to withdraw the caveat in exchange for $40,000. As a result, the title remained in Miss Issa's name, but the Moorcrofts paid for and have lived in the house since 2018. They've been fighting since 2018 to keep their house. In February this year, Supreme Court Justice Lincoln Crowley found that they had no legal interest in the property because the title had never been transferred into their names. See, it's all about the title. I guess it just shows us you can buy a house at auction, you can settle on the house, you can pay for the house, and you still might not get the house. We've lost the house after 5 years, and we never thought it was possible. The court found that they only had an equitable interest in the property, and Miss Issa was still the legal owner with the title in her name. The court found the mortgagees who sold the property had been alerted to the allegations of fraud before the property settled. After the property went to auction, Miss Issa made the complaint to police about the alleged fraud. A handwriting expert gave evidence during the trial that the signature had been forged on the loan documents. Miss Issa is now suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Her daughter Jennifer acted as a litigation guardian throughout the Supreme Court proceedings. Miss Isa sued the mortgagees who sold her house, listed on court documents as several different entities. In addition to Jess and Jack Milcroft, the Register of Titles, the State of Queensland, the relative and a lawyer were named as defendants. In February, Justice Crowley found the 7 mortgagees described in the documents as lenders of last resort were not entitled to exercise the power of sale over the house. He found the mortgage entered into using the property as security was null and void. The court accepted that Miss Isa's signature had been forged and said the mortgagee's attempt to verify that Miss Isa had executed the mortgage on her home before selling her property was wholly inadequate. As a consequence, the mortgage against the property that led to the sale was found to be fraudulent. So the court found the Moorcrofts did not have a legal interest in the home because they were not able to register the title, but they were entitled to recover $2.751 million from the mortgagees who sold the house for breach of contract. So they actually have a breach of contract claim. The Moorcrofts now fear enforcing the judgment against several lenders will be costly and difficult to pursue. After already spending more than $300,000 in legal fees, they want the state government to compensate them after the court found that they were also victims of fraud. Well, the judgment said the state is liable to compensate the purchasers if they have been deprived of their equitable interest in the property because of the fraud of another person. No orders have been made. Documents show lawyers for the state argued against awarding compensation during the trial. This is an endpoint here for us, which will totally ruin us. It feels desperate at this point, Mr. Moorcroft said. His wife said they'd been living in fear due to the stress of losing the property for the past 5 years. We're just normal people who bought a house. Financially, it's enormous to lose everything you've worked for, and the government should be there to back us up because we've done nothing wrong and we're just fighting, and they're just fighting us all the way. During the trial, the Moorcrofts argued Miss Isa should not be awarded the house because of her conduct in withdrawing the caveat so that settlement could be completed. That's an interesting point that they've brought up. So they were saying their argument was that because they paid $40,000 for her to remove the caveat, that was her agreeing to the sale of the house. But Justice Crawley found her conduct in removing the caveat in exchange for $40,000 was not misleading or unmeritorious. She was clearly pressured by the mortgagees and their lawyers to withdraw the caveat, he said in judgment. He said Miss Isa was faced with the prospect of costly legal proceedings brought by the mortgagees to have the caveat removed, which she could not afford to defend and believed she would not succeed in. While she did agree to withdraw the caveat in consideration of the payment of $40,000 from the mortgagees, that was done on the express basis that she reserved all her rights, the judgment said. Bond University legal academic Laura Lee Cameron Dale said, as a general rule, home buyers need to be careful when dealing with caveats. It can be one of the difficulties that if you think it's a straightforward purchase and you use a conveyancer, that's fine, she said. But as soon as it gets complicated and you get a caveat, you need to go and find a lawyer because you're heading into hot water, and if you don't know how to manage the process, it will bite you. The question of compensation by state government will be considered when the matter returns to court on Friday. Wow, hey? How? Really, there's 2 victims in this case. There's the woman who lost her house, and then there were the people that bought the house. As they said, they did everything right. And yet it didn't work out for them. Have you got any thoughts on that? What are your thought processes on that? Because it's for me that's a very interesting, definitely interested to see what you think. So about that. Okay, everything's just signed out on my computer too. So it looks like it's been one of those days. So let's talk about the other Katie. My code generator app. Oh. I just need to put my, just trying to get into my Twitter. We'll use that one. We'll use that one. Use your code generator app. I've got one, I think. Yeah, I'm just here mainly talking to myself. But look, I'm interested if you're watching on the replay crew or you're watching live. What do you think about anything that we've looked at so far? The two Katies in court over the same name. What do you think about the fact that Katy Perry lost a case? Do you think that she was okay with that? What will happen when she tours in Australia again? Oh, where is it? So, yeah. All right, as I said, I'm just waiting for my code generator to load. And then I can get into I just can't get into my Twitter at the moment. Oh, always the way, hey? This is not going very well, is it? I apologize. It's been a while. I'm all out of practice. All right. That's not what I want. Where are we? I've got one here. Okay. The backup code. Do I have a backup code? I remember when they got us to do it. Anyway, I can't do it at the moment. Good one. So Katie Joy's been on a bit of a rampage. I believe she's outed somebody else again today, or tried to out somebody else today. It's just really hard to deal with her at the moment, isn't it? Well, don't forget she's got a court case coming up next month. Well, she's got a court appearance as well. So I'm just trying to get into here. So thank you for those of you. If you're watching, come and say hello. Where are we? Oh, look, it's on my Twitter too, so that's good. Yeah, interesting. Oops. Try this. I'm just gonna. I had to restart my computer, so that's been all the. So let me tell you what's been happening. I have been really busy. I'm essentially working the equivalent of a full-time job and full-time study. So let's just say I am sort of all over the place at the moment. It's not funny. I have got no idea whether I'm coming or going, whether I'm Arthur or Martha. Hello, Tom. How are you? At the moment, I'm trying to get into my Twitter account. Oh, there we go. Oops. Oh, look, I'm here. Oh, no, it's a different account. Oh. All right. That's all right. We'll do it. We'll use this one. Don't care how I get in, as long as I get in. Okay. So I'm not too shabby. Yes, I know it's been a while. I'm sort of a lot out of practice. So just to give you a recap of what we've done so far, we've discussed the fact that Katy Perry got sued by an Australian Katy Perry, and for copyright infringement, and yes, she won. Right, we're going to look at Katie Joy's live, I believe. So this was from today. Llama Girl, I actually download most of them on my... Oh, she's been live twice today. She was live... Anyway, I thought we might look at one of them just for our little bit of fun. Michelle Sabate is still going. I don't know. Does anyone know what happened with her toe? I want to know what happened to her toe. Does anyone know what happened to Michelle's toe? Because I don't. So I have no idea. So the best I can go and be yeah. All right. So thank you to Llama Girl. I'm going to put a thing in the description thanking her. Again, I know I have sound problems, so I'm going to need your help to tell me whether or not you can hear this. I just don't know whether this works. But she looks different, doesn't she? She's definitely changed over the last while. I know that we've all changed, but in my opinion, she's looking a lot older than what I am. But that's just my own opinion. So let's have a look. As I said, thank you to Llama Girl. Please, follow Llama Girl on Twitter, buy her a coffee, support her everywhere that you can. She's amazing and takes one for us all the time. So hopefully you can hear this.
So I'm going to wait for a minute till you guys get here. Excuse me. I'm eating lunch right now. I'm getting ready to film, make some content for you guys. And I don't know if you're aware.
So she's decided to go live while she's eating her lunch, right? Well, that's a bit rude, in my opinion. Everything that I say is going to be my opinion, not to be considered as fact, but you're more than welcome to do your own research on Katie Joy and come up with your own decisions about her.
Like, I don't know if you're aware at all, but...
What? Don't tell me what to... You're saying to me you don't know if I'm aware. Well, tell me. What is it?
Let me just pull this up for you. I'm not sure if you know this.
How do I know if you haven't told me?
But it is time for...
I've aged a year waiting. It's time for what?
It's time for cult camp. It is the cult week. It is cult week at the Institute of Basic Life Principles main campus. And guess what? They are live streaming everything for free. You guys, we can all join in.
So essentially she's telling everybody to go and watch. Isn't that what a cult leader does? Tell their people to go and do stuff?
In the cult and learn how to be more culty. So this morning, I was like, I should see this. Someone actually like sent me a message and they were like, you need to check this out. But I want to just show you something.
This is painful. I don't think I'll survive. I don't watch her very often anymore for these reasons.
Need to be more culty, okay? And the president, I'm pretty sure. Hi, I see some IBLP survivors. So I want to share this with you guys.
So she's going to call out all these people, so IBLP survivors, and she wants to call them out and identify them all. That's clever. Can you imagine her giving evidence in court and they go, oh, look, I can see this survivor and this survivor.
It is cult conference week. It's family conference for the culties this week. And this morning they held a prayer circle thingy bobber for the men. So men get their own prayer time in the morning, okay? So I want to show you something. This is, let me flip this around.
So that she's got 255 people watching at this point in time. So Llama Girl said she's edited part of it out.
Here's the thing that I think is interesting. They start the conference out this morning with Tim Lewandowski literally saying that in this, especially in this day and age, that was my hand shaking. I'm sorry. It was my hand because I'm showing you my screen. So I'm sorry. I was shaky. They aren't shaky. The screen is actually not shaky. But anyway.
I was shaky. Oh dear. Oh boy. I was shaky.
They're talking about strongholds and bitterness. Those are all like talking points of Bill Gothard. But he says, like, especially in this day and age where people are saying criticism and attacking us, who's criticizing the IBLP right now and who's attacking the IBLP and who's speaking ill of the IBLP? Literally everyone.
It's funny how she thinks that everybody's talking about her.
And then he's like, and those people that are allowing the bitterness to get into their lives and it's become a stronghold because Satan has taken over their hearts now, they will be defiled. So can someone explain to me what defiled means in cult language? I know what bitterness is and I know what a stronghold is. So in the IBLP, a stronghold is they believe that like it's like a foot in the door. So like if you are prideful, that can get a stronghold in your life. And then it's like an open door for Satan to get inside your heart. And then those strongholds become more like bitterness.
What? That doesn't
and then
make
that
any
bitterness
sense. That makes no understand. That makes absolutely no sense. This is what happens when you think you can talk about a subject and you can't. A stronghold is a place or a particular cause or belief that is strongly defended or upheld. So a stronghold or a place that has been fortified so as to protect it from attack. A stronghold. So yeah, that's not. And it's a stronghold is also a biblical term from 2 Corinthians chapter 10, believe it or not. And that is where they're talking about. So it says so 2 Corinthians chapter 10 says the weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to God. A stronghold. So anything that is against the word could be a stronghold, and that's what they're talking about. Anyway. But see, even I'm making a muck up of this. Even I don't. Yeah, it
can like make you angry and say things, but defiled. So those that criticize, they'll become bitter and then they'll be defiled.
Usually, I thought defiled was something like it's evil or something. If you know what these words mean, please write them in. Yeah, spoiled, dirty. The destruction of something nice. You know, if they say they defiled a statue, they destroyed a statue. That's what it means, Katie Joy. It can mean foul, dirty, unclean, polluted, or tainted. Morally, those with defiled consciences are flying blind, made impure, desecrated. So yeah, all of that sort of stuff. That's what it means.
I am unclean. I'm actually very clean.
She says she's actually very clean. Okay. Oh dear.
Zombies. Okay, let me see what defiled means.
Oh, she's going to Google it now.
I saw some IBLP people in here.
So now she's going to Google it. Oh boy, that's funny. Oh boy. Oh dear. I know that Llama Girl pointed this out, but have a look at the this looks very bruised and swollen, doesn't it? I just find it. Is it the light, or is it the makeup that's making it look like that?
So I thought maybe they would know. Violate the chastity of a woman.
Trust KJ to come up with that meaning. Isn't that interesting? I did not find that meaning.
So in this,
I did not come up with that one, but yes.
Violate the chastity of a woman.
Someone's got a one-track mind, huh? What's she looking at?
Let's see.
Looky.
Oh, I don't think that's the definition, though. Because when I looked up the definition of defiled, it didn't say anything about unclean. Let me look.
Oh, dear. So when they say the statue was defiled, means someone's taken away the chastity of the statue? Yeah, come on, KJ. I thought you were a journalist. No, in fact, interesting today. I've had a discussion with a journalist about whether you can actually start a sentence with the word along. We had a big discussion about whether you could start a sentence with the word along. But as I'm not a journalist, I lost that battle. But anyway, it was a good argument anyway.
Sully, mar, or spoil. Okay, let me look here. Made foul, dirty, or unclean, polluted, or tainted. Okay, that's one. Made impure for ceremonial ritual use, desecrated, sullied as a person's reputation. Oh, so in this case, those people who are criticizing them will be defiled, meaning their reputations will be ruined.
I don't think that's. I'm not sure. I would have thought they would be talking about in the sight of God. So they would be, yeah. But anyway. But I'm not gonna. I can't argue with this journalist.
It also, it says you're not a virgin. But in this context, someone that is criticizing you will become defiled. What does that even mean? Why are they speaking in such jargon?
Because that's the language that that's just their speak. Go to the military and they have their own jargon. Everybody has their own jargon that means different things.
Someone that criticizes you will not become a virgin. That doesn't make sense. Someone that
Again, what's all these with these connotations here? She brings everything back to yeah, you know what I mean.
that criticizes you will become unclean. That doesn't make sense. So they'll have their reputation ruined. Is that them saying that they will ruin the reputations of those that are being criticized?
So someone's written here, it means that those people won't be saved and won't get to heavenly probably because they're going against their beliefs. Yes, they'll be.
They're saying the criticizer won't go to heaven. I should look it up on, I bet you Bill Gothard.
So, oh dear. This is why I don't.
Oh. Meanwhile, no one, yes. So, okay. Well, this is good to know. So, if you're not clean, you're not saved. Well, yes. You lose your salvation. Okay. That's an interesting take. You've been declared defiled by many family members, but then again, I live my life without caring what they think. Okay, so she's been declared defiled. Okay.
It could simply mean, yeah, ruined, yeah, dirty, yeah. But as I said, we looked at the definitions that didn't require innuendos.
So if you've been declared defiled, I bet you I've been declared defiled. I have been called lots of names by people from the IBLP. Wicked, bitter.
Again, she's making this about her, all the things that she's been called. So
sacrilegious, the Antichrist.
Don't forget, she's been called Sandwich.
Oh, one lady called me Satan's mouthpiece. That was my favorite. A lady from the IBLP contacted me and said that I was Satan's mouthpiece. That was my favorite insult. Satan's mouthpiece. I am Satan's mouthpiece. Okay. Well,
So it's all very interesting, isn't it?
I'm gonna defiled. Okay, so does that mean that Ginger, because she's criticizing the IBLP, they're taking away her salvation? Satan's mouthpiece needs a tattoo. I just thought it was hilarious. I actually made a meme out of it. So
Oh, did she make the meme, or did someone else make a meme on it?
and I said I was Satan's mouthpiece, and then someone in the cult reported that for hate speech. Because I said I was Satan's mouthpiece. And then Instagram took it down, and then I appealed the decision, and then Instagram understood that it was parody, and then they put it back up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm Satan, basically. All right. So if any of you else are Satan's mouthpiece, come with me. We're going to go. I always would say to my husband, like, if this is the people that are going to heaven, please send me to hell. So if like these are the people that support child abusers and they abuse their kids and they cover for child molesters and child predators and rapists,
Of course, we have to get onto her favorite topic.
those are the kind of people that are going to heaven, I don't want to go there. I used to tell my husband all the time, like, that's not my audience. I want to go where people don't support those people. So wherever that is, send me there. Satan does have a good sense of humor.
Really?
I am painting the walls. I'm going to paint the walls this weekend. We have a lot of projects right now. We just bought storage because we have this basement area that's like our utility area. So we just bought a huge shelf for down there. So we're going to clean that out. We got a big steel cabinet, like a locker type thing, for all my husband's like painting supplies and like all of his art stuff that he does. So that he can clean up his office a little. We're kind of doing spring cleaning. And then I'm going to paint this wall. It's going to be a cream. It's just going to be like a neutral cream. That way I don't have to worry about what I wear being like lost in the green. Yeah. It's going to be cream. Someone said, are you going to put lavender?
Do you think she'll be able to get the painting done?
Cream. Green is, unfortunately, it washes me out. So I look kind of like, it doesn't, when I put the lighting on with the green, no matter what I do for filming, it just doesn't work. Yes, I think it'll look good. And I'm going to get rid of the purple couch eventually.
Is it purple?
Did I paint the walls the color in here, the screen? Yes. But you have to remember, I've lived in this house since 2013, and I actually used to have a corporate job, and this was my office when I worked a corporate job. And so I wanted like this serene sort of like, I'm really like I like earthy things. I like plants, but I'm allergic to them. I like flowers, but I'm allergic to them. So if I can't have plants.
I thought she said she had a corporate job and that was her office. Hang on a minute. I thought she worked out of the home for her corporate job. Can somebody make that make sense for me? Didn't she work outside the house for her corporate job?
Or flowers, I want things to be green around me. Oh, the couch is iconic, you guys, but it is so old. I have had that couch since 2004, and it is very old. It actually has paint stains on it. The couch is old. And I had to take everything off the walls because like the level of where I film, yeah, it's just a mess. I know you guys love the purple couch. Maybe I'll keep it for a little while. You're over it. Yeah, I'm over the purple couch. I've had it for 20 years. I have to put something there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I got to go because I promised my son I would pick him up from school today, and then I have to film something. And then I just wanted you guys to know that the cult is having their conference right now, and so we're probably going to talk about cult conference, because guess who is speaking tomorrow? Gil Bates is speaking tomorrow. So Gil Bates, I know you guys can't wait.
Is she saying Bill Gates or Gil Bates? It sounds like, oh, she's supposed to, oh, gee whiz.
In a session tomorrow in the afternoon. And he's also doing a session on Thursday, which would be what would be wise to ask for. Yeah, he's speaking twice. And Nathan Payne, who is Chad Payne's brother, is speaking. The Duggars are not speaking.
You're upset about that, aren't you, Katie?
I'll like the purple couch better after I paint. Freedom Bill.
She's probably upset about that. Oh, dear.
David Waller is not speaking at this event. It's not David Waller this time. All right, you guys. David Waller is not speaking, but Gil.
Oh, wow.
The wall. No, we're going to go very neutral.
So anyway, that was painful. So that was painful. What do you think about that? Wow. Then she did a second live. How long is this? I don't really want to take up all night either. She called this more from cult camp. So I'm interested in how long it was between the two lives, because she said she was going to pick up her son, and so I'm wondering whether she spent any time with him or whether she just picked him up and dumped him home. That's what I would like to know. It looks like my computer's decided that it's not interested in Katie Joy either. That's actually an amazing screenshot. We might make that the that'd be great as a picture. Why does she do that? Yeah, no, it's not liking it. All right. Don't blame it. I don't blame it at all. All right. We saw the many faces of Katie Joy. So, look, I'm going to head off. I've got to do some more work. We might even look at, oh, that's right, because her cat bit her as well. So we might look at another one. I'll see if I can get on tomorrow night, depending on how I go with my assignment. I'm about to tackle that now. So I want to thank you all for joining me. If you can hit the like and subscribe button, that would be great. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed those variety of stories and discussions that we've had. And if you're on the replay crew, leave a message below and let us know that you have seen it. But other than that, have a great day, night, whatever time of day it is at your place, wherever you are. And I will catch you again soon, I hope, sooner rather than later. There is in the top corner, my PayPal, if you're interested in assisting that way. But anyway, we are just about to sign off, so I'm about to say farewell to you all, and I will catch you again next time. Bye for now.